Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel. This morning, we update a piece of breaking news from Woman's Day magazine. New attack on Kate. Meghan bans Catherine from baby number 2. Ever since the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were spotted at a Los Angeles doctor's clinic middle month clutching egg retrieval medication, according to onlookers, speculation they're trying for a second child has been at fever pitch. And while fans are celebrating, it's bittersweet news for the couple's England-based family, who, we're exclusively told, have heard the rumors and reached out to the couple. The Duchess of Cambridge, especially, is said to be keen to connect with Meghan, hoping the blessing of another baby in the family might help them heal their debilitating rift, a source says. Kate loves children, and regardless of the bad blood between her and Meghan, she would forgive it all in a heartbeat if she got to spend more time with darling Archie and his apparent new niece or nephew. She still holds out hope that they can mend fences so Harry's children can come home and grow up with their cousins. Whatever their differences, the kids come first, surely. She has said as much to Meghan. Sadly for Kate, her renewed pleas for peace have fallen on deaf ears with Harry and Meghan. Women's Day has learned that Meghan has explicitly told Harry that neither Archie nor their next baby will ever see their English relatives again. Meghan feels so utterly disillusioned by her 18 months as a member of the monarchy that she has no intention of going back there or taking her kids, says our source. She doesn't see the need for any of the people who made her life so miserable, especially Kate, who she has a huge vendetta against, to have anything to do with Archie or his future sibling. The source says Meghan told Harry as much in the same week. The couple was spotted leaving a Beverly Hills medical building, with the Duchess clutching a transparent packet that many online commentators deemed trigger shot, an injection that stimulates egg production to help retrieve them for in vitro fertilization or surrogacy. A source says Harry takes her lead on everything, probably including this. Deep down, he must be heartbroken to know his kids won't have the same upbringing as Kate and William's kids. Despite it all, he loves his family, and there's no need for a hardline reaction like this. But he's powerless in this relationship. Word of Meghan digging in her heels has reached Kate, who figured as much when her messages were met with stony silence, and she's devastated. She can't help but feel this is a cruel reaction from Meghan when she knows what a fantastic aunt and uncle she and William would be. The real victims, though, Kate says, are Archie and Meghan and Harry's next child. Meanwhile, Meghan's moaned to a friend in Hollywood that Archie isn't able to have any friends because his mom is too famous and has deeply upset his tight-knit family back in England. According to the Daily Mail, Meghan complained to her pal that her 14-month-old can't join a Mommy and Me class in Los Angeles. But she knows this is impossible, even if there was no COVID-19 because of who she is. She said she's just too well known to do normal things, Meghan's friend adds. She said Archie needs to learn emotional and social skills by being around other children, something he can't do with adults. It all sounds fair enough, says Palace Insiders, if there wasn't a gaggle of children in the royal rascal squad who could have been Archie's besties if his parents hadn't ditched the UK. Kate was particularly shocked by Meghan's words. She didn't know whether to laugh at how silly it was or be outraged on Archie's behalf. Given there are plenty of cousins who would love to be his playmates, including her own 2-year-old toddler, Louis, says the source. Among Archie's other potential pals are Prince George, Princess Charlotte, along with Zara and Mike Tyndall's daughters, Mia and Lena, plus Autumn and Peter Phillips' older children, Savannah and Isla. Meanwhile, it's obvious that Harry is a very different person now to the person he was 5 or 6 years ago. The Harry of old was not the court jester, but the cheeky chappy with the ready smile, impish grin, and mischievous sense of humor. And when he overdid it on occasion, well, there was some disapproval, but also a degree of tolerance. After all, he wasn't going to be king, and it didn't matter so much if he kicked over the traces. And of course, there was a lot of sympathy for both brothers because of Diana's untimely and tragic death. However, his judgment has always been somewhat suspecting. Fast forward to 2019-2020, and we see a Harry who, as often as not, is grumpy, morose, scowling, angry, and seemingly totally enthralled to and controlled by his wife. Prior to Meghan, there were two events which, I believe, had a strong impact. The first, largely overlooked, was when William and Catherine decamped to Norfolk in 2014, where William was stationed with the East Anglian Air Ambulance. Subsequently, they moved back to London, although still spending a lot of time in Norfolk. This made Harry feel somewhat alone and isolated. The second event, and extremely pivotal, was leaving the army. The army provided much of what Harry wanted and needed. Most importantly, it gave him discipline, something with which he has always struggled. It gave him a sense of purpose, clearly defined aims, a sense of being useful, doing something that mattered, and, in a sense, a feeling of being part of a family. It gave him what he really needed, structure in his life. Leaving the army in 2015 was a very bad decision. The army can be surprisingly flexible about certain things, and it would have done its best to accommodate Harry and allow him to remain a serving officer with a career. But Harry has an impetuous streak and the expectation that he should get what he wants. But his two biggest faults are that, whilst he can be very free criticizing others, he's not good at taking it, even when it is constructive, and he won't listen to advice, let alone take it. Then, in 2016, the Meghan arrived. She zeroed in with laser-like intent on the not very happy, somewhat confused and lonely Harry. Intensely ambitious and determined, she is brighter than he is and utterly ruthless, and has played him from the beginning like a fish on a line. And then Harry seems to blame everyone but himself for his own misfortunes. It's always someone else's fault. And now he appears to be jealous of William for being in direct line to be king, and Meghan appears intensely jealous of Catherine, not least because, despite having had 3 children, she is better looking and has a better figure than Meghan. She is also a lot nicer and genuine. Harry is completely adrift from this natural family, who he has alienated, has ditched, or been forced to ditch, his old friends, and is still searching for a meaningful job and role in life. His wife appears to be far too overly concerned with trying to outshine the royal family. It is more than coincidence that almost every time there is an event concerning William and Catherine, Meghan somehow also is in the media. Harry is criticized because he has spent far too much time moaning and whinging about his childhood and the media, because he does whatever his wife tells him, because he has left his country and his family because his wife couldn't have her own way. He has lost an immense amount of respect and goodwill, especially amongst the armed forces, who to a considerable extent feel he has let the side down. After all, he will be 36 this year. He is no longer a teenager. Indeed, friends also say Prince Harry's recent behavior has sparked concern for his well-being from both the UK and the US. The young dad is described by sources as lost and directionless in Los Angeles, and seems to be suffering badly from his public battle with mental illness. Arthur Edwards, a veteran royal photographer who has captured images of Harry since he was born, says the prince has turned sour and lost the plot, even pointing out that he's wearing the same raggedy gray shirt every time he's seen in public. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, rumor has it his drinking sessions with fellow London expat Adele have turned maudlin, with the singer suspecting her mate isn't coping with the stress of the move and leaving his family behind to join Meghan in Hollywood. She has, like all good friends should, suggested he get some extra professional help as he's obviously struggling to be away from home, says a source. Another insider tells us Harry has a lot of pride and would never outwardly ask for help. But he must know going around with a scowl on his face and wearing the same clothes will have friends and family worried about him. It's almost as if he's sending a message to them that he's not happy, and like old times, his big brother William might step in to help. If he wants to regain the affection and respect in which he is once held, he'll have to eat a massive amount of humble pie and make some difficult decisions, one of which will be to ditch Meghan, or more likely, she will drop him when he is no longer useful to her and her daddy stops the money. She is utterly toxic. A new revealed about the Sussex and Cambridge rift appears to solve the mystery about when Duchess Meghan's vendetta against the crown began. It suggests problems began when the Queen and Prince Philip declined to attend baby Archie's christening last year, citing other engagements. The Queen and Prince Philip had been generous and understanding, but they simply now felt publicly embarrassed by Meghan's controlling behavior, says the source. An insider tells Women's Day, Meghan felt extremely offended by the fact that the monarch decided not to go. We will update this news in the next videos. Please subscribe to our channel to not miss it. If you love my video, remember to like and share it with anyone at any time you want. You can also discuss this news with me in the comment section below, where everyone talks about them together. Now, thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you in the next videos.